Now that we have explored Nidra from the Ayurvedic lens and from the lens of modern longevity science, let's bring these worlds together. Because sacred longevity is all about bridging the ancient wisdom and modern science. One of the greatest misconceptions is that Ayurveda and biohacking are two separate languages. But when you look at them closely, you realize that they're describing the exact same circadian truths, just in different dialects. One more poetic and one more scientific. Ayurveda says live in rhythm with the doshas, and science says live in rhythm with your circadian clock. But both are pointing to the same universal truth. The body is intelligent, it is cyclical and time sensitive. Healing happens when we align ourselves with those cycles, not override them. Let us look at doshas or the chronotypes. Ayurveda describes kapha time, pitta time and vata time, each with its own energy signature. Science in parallel talks about chronotypes, sleep windows, hormonal pulses. Let us look at the kapha time, 6 to 10 pm, all about heavier and grounding, perfect fit for a winding down time. Pitta time is 10 pm to 2 am. Deep repair, metabolism, autophagy are the keywords. Vata time is 2 am to 6 am. It's all about dreams, mental clarity, creativity. If you sleep late and enter the Vata window awake, your mind spirals. Anxiety, overthinking, emotional sensitivity. Ayurveda calls this the Vata aggravation and science calls it sympathetic nervous activation. So whether you call it kapha pitta vata or melatonin cortisol hormonal cycling, the prescription is the same. Sleep early, wake early and move with the sun. Now let's look at the cleansing system, the Agni or the detox pathways. Here's another bridge. Ayurveda says, let your Agni, your inner fire, rest at night. Do not eat. Science explains this as your liver, mitochondria and lymphatic system going into a repair mode. When you eat very late, Ayurveda says that Agni becomes weak. And science says that insulin rises, digestion slows, and autophagy gets shut off. When you have a disturbed sleep, Ayurveda says undigested emotions produce ama or the toxins. And science says waste proteins build up, inflammation rises, mood becomes erratic. You see, different words but same mechanism. Now let's come to the restoring part, the Ojas or the heart rate variability and recovery scores, modern wearables. This is my favorite part. Ayurveda's concept of Ojas, that inner radiance, immunity, emotional stability, is exactly what biohackers are trying to quantify as heart rate variability, sleep efficiency, the REM percentage, deep sleep percentage, cortisol awakening response, etc. When you sleep deeply, the Ojas rises. Your face glows, your voice softens, your presence becomes magnetic. Your wearables will show the same thing. HRV goes up, resting heart rate goes down. Ayurveda says nourishment has increased and science says recovery has improved. It's the same essence, one measured in numbers and one felt in your energy and aura. Now, the magic happens when you combine both the worlds. You practice an Ayurvedic ritual like Abhanga, you track your sleep that night using an aura wearable and your score jumps. You did something ancient and got a modern proof. This is sacred longevity, blending intuition with information, ritual with metrics, and soul with science. After hearing this, I'm sure you are ready for your next activity for this section. Let me give you a hybrid bedtime framework that merges both the rishis and the researchers. So around 6:30 to 7 pm, have a light dinner and avoid sugar. Around 8 pm, dim your lights as per biohack and have a warm foot oiling. 9 pm, switch off your screens to activate pratyahara and activate blue light filters. Around 9:45, have magnesium with the warm nutmeg milk, the perfect fusion. Around 10 pm, sleep on your left side in a cool room in silence and you will see your HRV will rise, your mind will calm and your aura will start to glow again. Why don't you try this for 1 week and notice the difference yourself. This brings me to the end of this section. For those of you who are interested to dive deep into some of the topics that were touched in this section, please refer to the resources. Take a moment to reflect and integrate both in your mind. If you are more towards wearables, then try and connect it with the ancient wisdom. And if you have been following more of ancient wisdom, try and connect how you can measure it with much more accuracy, much more information using the wearables or the biohacking measures. And try to integrate them both into your life. I will see you in yet another very interesting section where we will talk about the subtle studies of astrology and Vastu and how they influence our relationship with how we deal with sleep. So stay tuned.